Blood is a mixture of cells, enzymes, proteins, and inorganic substances. The fluid portion of blood is called plasma, which makes up about 55% of blood content and is primarily water. Including plasma, there are erythrocytes, which are red blood cells, leukocytes, which are white cells, and platelets. Erythrocytes transport oxygen from the lungs to the body tissues, and then transport carbon dioxide from the tissues to the lungs. Red cells possess chemical structures on their surfaces called antigens or agglutinogens. Within antibodies, there are proteins that are present within the serum. They are responsible for ensuring that the only blood cells that can survive in a person are cells of that correct blood type. Blood typing is done by reacting whole blood with antibody A and antibody B. The universal donor is blood type O, while the universal acceptor is blood type AB. Bloodstain evidence is created using liquid blood and physical properties such as viscosity, surface tension, specific gravity, and behaves as a projectile in motion. Surface tension is the resistance of penetration and separation of blood drops. The surface acts to reduce the surface area and resists, creating a sphere. Dripping blood does not break up until immediate impact. Dripping blood always trickles downward, and the blood drops grow until the weight has overcome the surface tension. A single drop breaks free and forms a teardrop shape. The surface tension pulls them vertically and horizontally, and the shape settles into a sphere. The size and shape of a blood spot depends mostly on the nature of the targeted surface, if the texture is smooth or rough or can absorb the blood. The size is related to the distance fallen and whether or not it is provided. Wave cast-off starts with a drop of blood hitting the ground, which becomes the parent, and a little trickle of blood comes off of the parent and creates a wave cast-off. Low-velocity blood spatter spots are normally 4 to 8 millimeters, some smaller, some bigger, and are free-falling drops through gravity only. Low-velocity blood spatters are blood sources subjected to a low-velocity impact, less than 5 feet per second. Medium blood spatter velocities range from 25 to 100 feet per second, or 7.5 to 30 meters per second. The spot diameter is mostly 1 through 4 millimeters and blows with a weapon such as a baseball bat. High-velocity spatters are greater than 100 feet per second, around 30 meters per second, creating a fine mist with a spot size of 0.1 millimeters or less, created through a gunshot or high-speed machinery. Splash patterns normally have a volume of less than 1 milliliter and are subjected to level impact. They are normally thrown, tipped, and they have a large central irregular area, and they have multiple wave cast-offs. Arterial spurt patterns is blood exiting the body under extreme amounts of pressure. They are normally large stains with a flow going downwards in vertical surfaces. White patterns are objects moved through a wet blood stain, and the edge normally suggests the direction. Transfer patterns are wet-bloodied objects that create contact with another surface. They can transfer from hands, fingers, shoes, weapons, or hair, and transfer to walls, floors, clothing, shoes, and ceilings. Flow patterns are where blood flows horizontally or vertically and is altered by certain obstacles, and you can often see this within bathrooms of crime scenes, sinks, etc. With several different types of scenarios and blood spatters, different angles of blood drops can be produced. On July 4th, 1954, this man, Dr. Sam Shepard, allegedly killed his pregnant wife, Marilyn Shepard. He was tried for third-degree murder and was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. However, Dr. Shepard continued to say that he was innocent and saw a bushy man who gave him severe head injuries and knocked him unconscious. In the morning of July 4th, 1954, Marilyn Shepard was found dead, surrounded by her own blood, with 35 different cut wounds to her head. She was found with semen in her body that was not Sam's and was a third party, leading to Sam's innocence. Throughout the entire crime scene, there was blood spatter everywhere except for one spot in the wall, which is believed to be where the killer was standing when he murdered Marilyn. Blood spatter was found on Dr. Shepard's clothes. However, there was one spot of blood on his knee, but that had no connection to the blood spatter. A century after the first trial, Sam Shepard was found not guilty in a second trial for the murder of Marilyn Shepard.